Hey everybody, Fox Rose here, and it's been a long time since I did a countdown list. I know, but it's for a good reason. I just haven't had a good reason to write a script in a long time. And I didn't have a really good topic to use either. So, yeah. At any rate, this list is to celebrate the game based on the movie Ratchet and Clank. This is the game based on the movie based on the game. Quote at the back of the box. I am not joking. In fact, by the time you guys are watching this video, I'll be off going to the movie theater with my buddy Procrastinator Dave from the Digimon World 2 Let's Play, which hopefully he's going to be coming over later today to help me record that. And the day I'm recording this is a Sunday, if anyone's curious. Not saying what Sunday, just saying it is a Sunday. But anyways, this list, my top 5 favorite Ratchet and Clank bosses, is calling for me to tell you my top 5. So, let's lay down the rules before anything can go on in the list. Rule number 1. For this list, I am excluding final bosses. That means no Chairman Drex from the original game, no Dr. Nefarious from 3, or A Crack in Time, for those fans. No Protopet from the second game, no Gleeman Vox from Deadlocked, no Tachyon from Tools of Destruction, and no boss from Ratchet and Clank the new game. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2. I am also not including arena challenge bosses. This basically means that Deadlocked is an exception because arena challenges are the game. But games like the second game, the third game, they have bosses in the arenas, and those bosses are excluded from the list. So, no Chainblade, and no B2 Brawler, because I know a lot of people love both of those two bosses. Those two are great bosses in their own right. Lastly, 1 boss per game, so no duplicate bosses from any games, hopefully. And with that said, let's get this list started, everybody. I hope everyone enjoys the list. And before we even get into the list, let me know what your top 5 are in the comments below. Top 10, top 5, whatever. In fact, make a video response if you've ever played Ratchet and Clank. I'd love to see what you guys think, because Ratchet and Clank is a big game series, and seeing this game becoming a movie is a huge thing for me. I grew up with Ratchet and Clank. I mean, without even going into depth, I have Into the Nexus, I have A Crack in Time, I have Tools of Destruction, Size Matters, I have the movie, I have Deadlocked, both on PS2 and PS3, and I have the original collection disc. I'm a huge fan. So, with that said, let's get started.
He's not gonna help us, he's gonna kill us!
You catch on quick. Although there is one problem with your hypothesis. I'm not going to kill you.
You're not?
No. He is.
Great! First real boss.
Why?
But why? It's really not that difficult to decipher. I'm the official spokesman for Drex's new planet. I can't have you two getting in the way of my comeback.
This isn't over, Quark!
No. But it will be soon.
This is the second boss in the original Ratchet and Clank, but it's the first boss that actually puts up a real fight. Why it's on the list is because of this challenge. I mean, as you guys have seen from my Let's Play video, I had no problem facing off against this guy, which you guys are seeing a recap of the fight right now. New players will dread this boss, however, for the first time playing it, considering you don't get any of the good stuff until after this boss. And when you look at the weapon items you have for choices, it's really kind of sad. And if you're not that great at platformers, you're not going to have a good time with this fight in the slightest. Oh, and the fact that the running gag character of the franchise puts you in this situation in the first place, all for a simple deal with Chairman Drex? Yeah, I find it completely stupid. I find it a complete asshole move, which is to be expected, but still, the fact still remains. Oh, and the fact that after this fight, Ratchet has a personal vendetta against Quark, yeah, it makes it even better in a way. And since it becomes personal with Ratchet, yeah, you are so pissed off, it's not even funny. And during the time I wrote the script for this video, I had not played the new Ratchet and Clank game yet. I have played it now, and I can safely say that the one in the new game is actually just as challenging if you actually go with hard mode. Normal mode, you'll have as bad a much challenge as usual, but on hard, yeah, that's the real challenge, everybody. The Blarg Snagglebeast is known for killing people, and it's clear to see why.
Listen to that crowd, Juanita! It's nights like this that I'm glad I gave up my ballet dancing career.
Tonight we bring you Dreadzone's most highly anticipated matchup yet. In one corner, the undefeated Grand Champion Exterminator, a legend in his own time, Ace Hardlight!
And in the other corner, weighing in at 97.5 pounds, most of it probably fluff or fat, Ratchet.
This is it, Runt. I almost wish it wasn't going to be over so quickly. Just try to keep it interesting while it lasts, would you?
This boss is the very definition of a gladiator. Ace Hardlight has some of the most over-the-top skills in this one game. With force field and hologram clones, he doesn't play around. And you guys can see that he has bombs, he has a pistol, he has all different kinds of attacks, really. Homing shots and some of the most fastest movement in all the games. Even faster than Dr. Nefarious in the third game at some points. This all shows that he clearly knows what he's doing. And you can obviously see that. I mean, he wouldn't be the #1 contestant on frickin' Dread Zone if it weren't for the fact that he was so powerful. And the reason he's here is because even though Deadlocked is one of my favorite games, this isn't my favorite boss of them all, honestly. And there are downsides to this boss. I mean, it's so short. Like, incredibly short. Like, keep in mind, I'm gonna have the footage sped up so that all this audio syncs up to everything. And his freaking boss fight is less than a freaking minute long if you have the right weaponry. It all depends on your skill level. And it's easy to see why he's so quick to beat, because at this point you've got like 90% of the weaponry. But it's still so fun to fight him, because throughout the entire game you've been hearing about this guy. You've been hearing about how much of an asshole he is, how much of a jerk he can be. And then you see this fight and you're like, about time. If I continue, I'm going to start ranting and raving, so let's move on.
For the new Liberator!
Ratchet! You can't beat me. You're just a half-sized rodent with a big wrench.
Stay down, Ace. Don't embarrass yourself.
Embarrass? Embarrass? I'm Ace Hardlight.
You were a hero once, Ace.
Ratchet. Don't let Fox do to you what he did to me. You're the hero now.
Yeah, what's up, people? It's Courtney Gears. Are you feeling me, robots? I'm feeling you. I see the future, and what do I see? Robots going crazy across the galaxy. Can't stand organics, they're soft and squishy. The time is now, we robots must be free. You wanna be free? Then shout with me, yeah! This goes out to all you robots across the galaxy. It's time for you and me to rise up and strike back. Don't stop until we dominate, won't you feel great?
They turned Skid into a robot? That's impossible!
Not for Dr. Nefarious.
Don't be afraid, Ratchet. The transformation doesn't hurt. Much. Besides, I think you'll enjoy being a robot.
Let's see if you can fight better than you can sing.
Yeah, I'll admit it, the third game has some of the greatest aspects of what makes the Ratchet and Clank games what they are, even though the second game is what brought us to the very popular formula. And I also won't deny that this fight is not only cool, but a challenge for first-time players. Courtney Gears, who, secretly at the time, is working with Dr. Nefarious with the Bio-Obliterator project, is actually kind of a cool boss battle. Her attacks come in volleys and showcase quite a variety of pretty dancing and battling techniques at the same time. Oh, and the blatant references that apply to a pop idol at the time known as Britney Spears makes a few bonus points, as I'm going to admit right now, when I was a little kid, I liked that type of music. That, and I can't even begin to tell you just how many times I listened to that song from the beginning of this segment. And another thing, this spot and the next were a coin toss to decide who it should have been, so keep that in mind. But come on. If you've ever played this game, you will also agree that Courtney Gears as a character is not only a bitch, but also her concept's kind of cool. Also love that they actually make her like a real pop idol reference to the entire franchise. In fact, in the original series, she gets referenced multiple times after this, so if you ask me, they made a good character.
One disposable pop star. Disposed.
You okay, Clank?
Transmission from the Phoenix.
We've located Nefarious' star cruiser. It's refueling at the Zeldrin starport. Quark is already on his way there.
It might be a trap. I think Courtney Gears was setting us up. Even so, it could be our only chance to stop Nefarious. We'll meet Quark at the starport.
Be careful, Ratchet.
Come on, Clank. We'll come back for Skid later.
Like, destroy all squishies and stuff.
You can all relax now. I'm finally here.
Goodbye, stupid ranger.
I'm okay.
You want to take this one?
After the coin toss decision between a certain asshole and Mrs. Zircon, I went with Mrs. Zircon for story reasons. This boss comes just a few levels before the final level, and in all honesty, is no joke. I mean, I actually died a few times facing off against this lady, and she actually is kind of a powerhouse. And where do I begin about why I like this boss? Well, not counting the telepathopusses from Gaspar, or the spaceship sections in the game, there's a total of 4 bosses, that is including the final boss. And out of all 3, she's the most challenging of the bunch. She has a force field, homing plasma shots, and her own evil versions of Mr. Zircon to help her in the battle. That, and the fact that she's one of the few characters to not be affected by Groovatrons, a added bonus to me. Oh, and I won't deny her design looks kinda cool. And I love how in the past games, well, some of the past games, she would actually become a part of your party, so it's kinda like, oh hey, you helped me out a ton in the past, now I gotta freaking kill you. Sorry to say that. And I get why people may or may not like this boss fight, but look at it subjectively. It's a challenge amongst newer games that are admittedly kind of easy. Her attacks aren't stuff we've seen in a long time, and she can actually put up a decent fight even if you've got some great weapons like a fully powered Warmonger or some maxed out Buzzblades. She is powerful, and it's insane to see why.
fascinating. These are plans for something called a deplanetizer.
Deplanetizer?
Why would Drex be destroying planets?
Not destroy. It seems that Drex is trying to build the perfect planet.
What's so funny?
Nothing, I guess. Prepare to die!
For some reason, this is the boss that I hear a lot of people on the fan base are actually split, and I honestly have no idea why. It's a great boss battle in my opinion. And in all honesty, this is the one that I spent a lot of time on as a kid. A lot of time that I honestly care to not admit just how much time I had spent. It's kind of sad. This boss is what I imagine was the reason many people, and still do, love this game. It's a great game in general. I mean, it takes place in a different galaxy other than Solana, and it's like one of the first games where you actually get, well, it is the first game where your weapons upgrade. And to top it off, this is where you get the first different sets of gadget bots, like the bridge bot, the hammer bot, and I think that comes up in other games too, but they just kind of kept it to this one, which is kind of sad to me. But anyways, getting off topic. The Thugs for Less leader in the final clash you have with him is awesome. Throughout the entire game, he's got some great stage presence, and almost as if he was meant to be a mainstay in the franchise, and to an extent his company did anyway. The Thugs for Less company does become like a mainstay thanks to Into the Nexus and everything like that. But not too many games after that actually, you know, keep the guy around. Well, not so much the guy, but rather the company. You know what I mean. And as media has shown us, mercenaries as well as bounty hunters, whatever you want to call this guy, don't have too many smarts depending on who the character is. And this guy is the proof behind that. Muscle-headed, giant arsenal, has loads of underlings, and will change allegiances at the drop of a hat for the right price. And overall, he's a huge threat in this game. I mean, yeah, you face him a total of 3 times. That's one level where... No, I think you face him more than 3 times, actually. There's the first time in the place where Clank was actually vacationing while Ratchet was on his mission. He uses a helicopter to fight you. The next time, I think he actually fights you in a space station setup, so you actually have to use your ship for that whole thing. Then there's the battle with him on the moon as Giant Clank, which honestly, that is the one that was kind of teetering on the edge between winning the first place spot in this one, but I chose this one solely because of memories alone. This guy is my favorite boss in the entire game, solely because he is like a rival character, becoming more and more difficult as time went on in the games. And yeah, if you were one of those people that just like grinded your cash as much as you want before you even got to like the 3rd level, you could have got the Zodiac or the Rhino too real quick and just beat him that way, but I'm not one of those people. So I just went through playing the game like it was my first time playing the game and didn't really care about the Rhino or the Zodiac. Simple as that. And his last conflict when I was a kid was the reason I nearly broke my PS2. Because he was so tough. Keep in mind, I beat this game when I was like 9, maybe 10 years old. And the only thing that was standing in my way from beating this game was this boss right here. If it weren't for him, I would have beat the game a lot sooner. A lot sooner. And nowadays, yeah, he's not too tough of a boss fight, but I still remember all those like tries back then. And honestly, I'm happy with what I did. This guy is memorable to me and a lot of people because he's a hard boss from back in their youth in a relatively easy game. The difficulty doesn't really kick in until challenge mode, and even then you have the bolt multiplier, so a lot of people make it a lot easier that way. In fact, this is going to say how much pain it was for me, but I'm not lying when I tell you guys this. This is the actual truth. When I was 9 years old when I beat this game, it took me 3 months to beat this guy. Let me reiterate. It took me 3 months to beat the Thugs for Less leader. How can anyone actually believe me on that? Well, simply because you guys are seeing the boss fight right now. And plus, something I forgot to mention is the fact that since he's so big, you can't just hit him with ordinary weapons. You actually have to frickin' hit him with turrets. And there's only so many turrets laid out across the entire area that it's hard to actually do it 100% easily. Sometimes you have to do it several times just to, know what you're doing. And that's why he's memorable to me. Because of the challenge and because of the unique way you go about fighting this particular boss. I honestly love it to bits solely for those reasons. And I hope you all can see why. He's my #1 boss in Ratchet and Clank history.
You okay, Clank? Great. Let's go.
Hello? Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oops. Oh, I meant, after we free Angela.
Thanks. Now, before you run off, take a look at this. I picked it out of Lizard Boy's pocket.
Log entry 4792. Returning from Megacorp's distribution center. I'm beginning to suspect that Megacorp has lied to me. The extra-large decorative paperweights being stored there might actually be an enormous supply of proto-pets. Which might explain why the whole facility is guarded by ravenous mutant creatures. Their warehouse ship may hold as many as 10 million crates, and with 100 proto-pets per crate, that could be as many as, 3.5 zillion proto-pets. A secret shipment that large can only mean one thing. Megacorp is up to no good. I will confront them as soon as possible and demand a bigger cut of the action.
Are they insane?
The galaxy is in far more danger than I had imagined. Do you suppose Mr. Fizzwidget...
We've wasted enough time on Fizzwidget already. I swear that crazy old man is not the same person I used to work for.
Whoa. You used to work for Megacorp?
Yes, in the genetics division.
On the Proto-Pet?
On fixing the Proto-Pet's flaws. And I was this close to succeeding when Fizzwidget suddenly pushed up their release date.
Is it worth disrupting the Proto-Pet shipments?
It's a start. But to stop them for good, we're gonna need to break into Megacorp headquarters.
Break in? How?
I have an old Megacorp ID on my home planet.
We'll split up then. Clank and I will go to the distribution facility. You go grab the ID.
And there you have it, my top 5 Ratchet and Clank bosses across all of the games. Now, I know some of these weren't the greatest, and I know some of them weren't, like, over-the-top crazy fun, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. To me, these are all memorable because of the challenges that they proposed, not because of the fun I had doing it, or because of what you got afterwards. I just enjoyed them for the challenge. So, with that said, guys, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you liked the video, hit the like button, comment in the comment section with all your tips, tricks, and all that crap. Subscribe if you're new, favorite the video if you want, and I guess if you're in the countdown lists, you can favorite the video. And this is the first, like, real countdown list I've made in a long time, so please, guys, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments down below. And maybe if you've ever played Ratchet and Clank before, give me some of your ideas for what your top 5 would be like. So, yeah. Oh god, I cannot wait to go to see the movies today. With that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. But before I go, please remember, rock and roll, dudes and vixens!